We have breaking news. LaMarcus Aldridge has abruptly retired from the NBA. The news broke this morning that LaMarcus Aldridge is retiring from the NBA due to an irregular heartbeat that he had in his last game. In this video, we're going to be talking about a few things. LaMarcus Aldridge's statement about retirement, and I'm going to be going through that with you. And then we're going to do some vintage video of LaMarcus Aldridge and how unbelievable smooth his mid-range game is. Talk about some stats and what his career numbers look like and what I think this means for the Nets. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. In sports, we get caught up with the little things. And this is one of those situations we just need to appreciate and hope it's not more serious than this just one-time thing. So I hope that all the sports fans take this as seriously as it looks and just kind of say, okay, I feel really bad for LaMarcus and I hope he, is really healthy, but don't make it about sports. And, I've already seen it on Twitter a bunch like, oh, the Lakers in 4 or whatever. Like, I get it. It probably hurts the Nets a little bit, but they're still human beings and LaMarcus Aldridge is still a person. So I really hope that people don't, trash him for this. So, because I think at the end of the day, he had a hell of a career and a career that a lot of people want to have. So let's talk about LA's statement first. So he came out with this statement today. My last game I played while dealing with an irregular heartbeat. Later on that night, my rhythm got even worse, which really got me worried even more. The next morning, I told the team what was going on, and they were great getting me to the hospital and getting me checked out. Though I'm better now, what I felt with my heart that night was still one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. With that being said, I've made the difficult decision to retire from the NBA. For 15 years, I put basketball first, and now it's time to put my health and my family first. I'm thankful for everything this game has given me, the great memories, including all the ups and downs, and the friendships I've made and will keep with me forever. I thank Portland for drafting a skinny Texas kid and giving him a chance. The city of Portland has given me some unforgettable years. They will always remain in my heart. I want to thank the Spurs for letting me into the family and giving me 5 fun years. Last but not least, I want to thank Brooklyn. You wanted me for me in a game that's changing so much. You asked for me to come and do just what I do, which is good to hear. I'm sorry it didn't get to last long, but I've definitely had some fun being a part of the special group. You never know when something will come to an end, so make sure you enjoy it every day. I can truly say I did just that. LA, LaMarcus Aldridge. That's what LaMarcus Aldridge had to say. I suck at reading, sorry about that. It was kind of painful for me too. I just thought it'd be a good piece of the video to kind of go through what he had to say. I do think that he said a lot of interesting things. He said thank you to everyone, all that, but I do look at that type of statement as someone who isn't ready to retire yet. It's one of those really scary situations that he had to just do it. He probably had a little bit left in the tank, but it was the right decision for him and his family, so I respect that strongly. Now let's look at some clips from the mid-range king himself. And they didn't call him mid-range king for nothing. First one here is just from how smooth his game is. I have a couple of videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to play them all because I don't want to bore you to death, but I love just watching some highlight videos. He was a beast on Portland. People don't remember. Whew. All over Michael Beasley. Just so smooth. Sheesh. People don't appreciate how good he was on the Spurs, man. Like, I know they just weren't as competitive as they normally are, with Tim Duncan and stuff, but he was really good. He had really good numbers there, and we'll talk about that in the next part of this video. Oh, yeah, just works Anthony Davis. Welcome to the league. Just all over him. Complete beast. It's so smooth. Serge Ibaka. Man, that was a million years ago. He was on the Thunder. Game winner. I remember that. I remember when he hit that, actually. It was kind of funny. And another game winner. He was in the Mavericks. Just the throwback jerseys. So smooth. All right. You know what? We're going to watch another one because I love these videos. All right, so this is just really him on, I think I'm actually might be him on the Spurs. Yeah, people don't appreciate the mid-range jumper anymore because now in today's NBA, it's considered like a bad shot. But because, the three-pointer is a higher percentage, you're more likely to get, if you shoot a lower percentage on 3 and a higher percentage on 2, it's a better shot because you can score more points. But if you're really good at the mid-range game, you should do it. And I can tell you this, LaMarcus Aldridge had a mid-range game. He still does. You know, just smooth. I mean, and also too, like at that time when he was on Portland in early years on the Spurs, 20-point scorers at this height and this size is not a normal thing. And he was actually a pretty good passer too. He rebounded really well. Really just complete player. Didn't play the best defense in the world, but we'll let him slide for that for today. He could play defense, but he just didn't really do it very much. He kind of had a interesting shot too, because it's like it was already like cocked and pulled up when he was going to shoot, so it was hard to block. It's a really it's an awkward looking shot that's smooth, if that makes any sense. When he was on Portland, he was a little bit more explosive. You know, could dunk more, but it seems like he refined his game just a little bit when he was on the Spurs. So he was doing more of the mid-range stuff. Just really sweet, smooth. Just don't leave him wide open. He'll knock it down, I'll tell you that. All right, that's it. I don't want to bore you guys to death. Now let's talk about some of his career numbers and stats. All right, so this is from StatMuse. I use them a lot. They're pretty awesome. They had a tweet that said LaMarcus is one of the only 25 players in the NBA history with 19,000 career points and 8,000 career rebounds. 7-time All-Star and 5-time All-NBA. Hell of a career. Great numbers. You can't really beat it, to be honest. Like for someone like he's probably like a fringe Hall of Famer. I just didn't really win enough. But he could probably make the Hall of Fame with those numbers. Then we get another stat here that LaMarcus is the 3rd all-time on the Trailblazers all-time point leaders. He was 2 forever, and then, you know, Damian Lillard is probably going to be number 1 fairly soon. Before Damian Lillard, it was really him and Clyde Drexler were the best Blazers of all time. He was really great there. Let's look at some of his career achievements. He's a 7-time NBA All-Star, 4 years in a row, which is pretty good. 2-time All-NBA second team and 3-time All-NBA third team, and NBA All-Rookie first team. 3rd team All-American, 1st team All-Big 12, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Big 12 All-Defensive Team, and then 2nd team All-American, and then a McDonald's All-American before when he was in college. What I think was really interesting here was that he averaged 19 and 8, and he had some pretty down years, and he's still averaging about 20 points a game in his career, which is like pretty impressive. Like now that I'm talking out loud, like I would say he's definitely a Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's a first ballot or anything like that, but he'll get in at some point. Now let's just look at the stats really quick. So if you look early in his career, which is 2007, 2008, 2009, he was still like a 2nd to 3rd year guy scoring 17 points a game, 17, 18, 17. Then this is where he starts getting the 20s. So 21, 21, 21, 23, 23, and he scored 20 points 5 years in a row. I mean, that's really good. Like, people don't appreciate how good 20 points is now, because back in the day, 20 points wasn't 20 points. It was like, it meant more. It had more value, because 20 points now, there's like 30 guys that are doing it who probably aren't 20-point scorers, to be honest. It's just the way that the NBA works. Then he went ahead and scored 20 points again, 22 times, more times, and then he scored 18. I mean, he had some really good years when he was on San Antonio. Overall, he was on bad teams, so that's kind of what hurts him. He didn't really have an opportunity to really win many games, but they were competitive. He definitely was an interesting player for sure, and overall, he had a great career, and I commend him for all that. I really hope that he has a great retirement. So now let's talk about the Nets and what's going on with them. It's obviously a blow because they brought him in expecting bench scoring, but I'm not sure it's as big of a blow as, you know, losing a big player. The number one reason why it's a big blow in my mind is because they could have got somebody else in the buyout market, maybe Andre Drummond, something like that. They would have brought in someone else instead of LaMarcus Aldridge, and LaMarcus Aldridge gets retired, so it's obviously kind of sucks for the Nets. If I'm a Nets fan, I really wouldn't worry about it because you still really haven't seen much of KD, Harden, or Kyrie together, and those guys are 3 wrecking balls. The team is probably 50% healthy right now, and they're still taking down teams. Like last night, they were playing the Sixers, and they were down by like 20 and almost came back and won. And Sixers are apparently the best team in the East. I wouldn't really worry about it too much. As long as you get those 3 players coming back, and Blake Griffin's been very good for them, a lot better than what people expected. They have plenty of bench scoring, and then Clayton's been really good, and then also Joe Harris. They're going to be really good, and I wouldn't worry about it. That's it, guys. If you like this video, subscribe down below. Let me know what you think. I didn't want to do it in the beginning. I just didn't feel like it was a time or place to do it. But that's it. And if you enjoyed it, like I said, leave a like, leave a comment, and talk to you guys soon. Thank you.